The challenge was, yeah, you're in this alone, but you don't have to be alone. Being a single parent, yes, it's a single role, you taking care of and, bringing these beautiful children to be the best they can be, but it doesn't have to be a single role. You can have a community. And that's so important because especially when we live in a Western country, right? And the help is not there as much as you would think, right? When you have, like I live here and I'm like miles and miles away from my parents. My parents live in UK, but I have close aunt who lives in Toronto, but she has a life of her own. So I am here in a city where I don't have a big, community that I can, there's a community, but I've not learned to utilize that community to help me be in a place where I cannot be just surviving, but actually thriving.
So building a community is so important. And like I said, you could have the unpaid and the paid. So typically your unpaid community is like your friends, your family, right? I know for me, I either was not very close, like when I was in Florida, my closest family member was our. But guess what? My sister, she was busy. She had work, she had her own kids, and her kids are disabled. So there's not much help there. So you got to create your own community, such as family. Now, when I had became a single parent, I had moved shortly after I became a single parent. So I had to create a whole new community. At this point, I had to pay for my community. And that was having a babysitter, having a nanny. And, when that ended, my mom would come and help. So as they get older, it's a lot easier as far as getting help with your kids. So now my kids are older. So thank God they're more self-sufficient. But then there are the times, you have to step away, those sacrifices where I'm investing in myself or my business and I have to travel for work, right? And I have to leave my kids behind. There goes my mom. She helps out. So whatever, everybody's situation is different, but whatever your situation is, you got to sit and say, oh, okay, who can I trust with my kids? That's a big one, trust. And you may have to pay. So it's all about sitting down and thinking about your own situation and say, hey, who can I trust with my kids? Do I need to get a babysitter? Whatever works for you is what you have to do.
So it's so important, right? I think having that sense, I've never thought of it in that way, but when you look at it growing back in Africa, that's what we had. We had a community, right? Where you had friends and family and the whole community just holding you in that space, right? Whether you're a new parent or you have a family, but even if you're a single parent, there's that support system.